Very well, thank you, ma'am. Okay, good morning, everybody. And thank goodness it's raining, so things have improved already. Okay, let's call this meeting to order. It's 10 a.m. For August 23rd for Polk County Commissioners Court. At this time, we would ask David Darden with New Beulah Church to step forward and lead us in prayer.
May we all pray. Father, we come this morning just to say thank you for allowing us to make your wake-up list, God. We ask, God, that you continue to watch us and keep over us, God. We ask, God, that you continue to crown these officials, crown them with wisdom and knowledge for the betterment of this county. God, we thank you for everyone that's present. God, we ask, God, that you give us peace, God, give us courage, that we may make right decisions for this county. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, item number 2, public comments. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, at this time, we need Mr. James Buck. Mr. Buck, come on, would you come on up to the podium? Yes, sir.
Morning, how you doing?
Just fine.
I didn't bring my information. I didn't realize I was going to have to do it today.
That's fine.
But I live in Yopon Cove subdivision. I live on Hackberry Lane, and I border, or my neighbor is Virgil Reynolds. And he is one of the condemned homes that the county has taken over to clear. We've been living there since 2000. And since the tornado, it has pretty well demolished his house. So our concern is almost, and I've got pictures,
That's
but
fine.
almost weekly, I have rats that are coming in my house. I have pictures showing that they're in the traps and they're coming through the washroom.
Okay.
They're coming up through the floor. There is also feral cats, there's 6 that lives under Virgil's house.
Okay.
The tornado that came through in April of 2020 took the trees down between he and I. And what has happened is the growth has gotten up and actually is growing over his place. So it's promoting snakes and rats, and the cats, they live there. You would think that the cats would eat the rats, but I think
Or the snakes.
I think what has happened is they have, kind of like us, when we have had too much of one thing, they quit eating them. So they're coming to my house.
Okay. So basically what you have is an animal control issue,
Yes.
an environmental enforcement issue, and some of those things are being resolved as quickly as we can. If you would like to provide the information before you exit, if you'd like to give your email address and information to Becky,
Okay.
then she can take down that information. And we
Now, I have the information in my car. I did.
Then you can give her a copy whenever you decide to go.
Okay,
That would be great.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pat Simonson?
I'm giving my time to Nina.
Very well. Okay, I call these out in the order that they're presented to me. Carolyn Bischoff?
Wow. Maybe that's because I'm a bee. Hi, thank you for this opportunity. Let me just say I'm a newbie. This is a first for me. It's 70. I guess that's not too bad. I live in Forest Hills. I have to remember my physical address, because we don't really use it. It's 154 Forest Ridge Drive, which really isn't on anything, because we actually go to get our post, or use the post office boxes in on Alaska. And we are retired, and it's funny because we don't try to go to both towns the same day. I don't do that. So for this, I'm here about the drop-off of the recycling, how much I am for that, and would really like that. I moved here 4 years ago as a retired person with my husband and went, okay, where's my recycling can? Oh, there's not one. Okay, there I go again. I knew I was, oh. And I wasn't angry, I just was like, why? And so when I found out about the new location, there's some friends, I was like, okay, I'll get lunch out there. I know that sounds ridiculous when I'm used to driving to Houston, but, so I would really like it for the convenience. I admit that, it's a convenience, and maybe, again, these days, maybe that's not fair to ask for when so many people are hurting, like I just heard. But I would really like it, because it'd be my way in my community. I live in Forest Hills 1. There's not a lot of us, I'll admit that, that's permanent. But I know some of us there that is something we'd like to do. And, you know, then I could even be the beginner of it. And say, I'll put it in my car, and I've got buckets, and I'll go around. So I am really hoping that's considered. I really probably don't know enough about the expense or whatever, but it gives me a sense of Livingston is growing, and it's not just the fast food places, that it's actually in a positive thing for the younger people. You know, I would even like to see, I would hope to see it, you know, then be maybe the schools take over something that would say in the teacher's lounge. I've been there before, so that they could start that. So I'm just here to say I'm really in favor of it. I hope it's considered on your budget, and maybe, again, I don't know, but thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, appreciate it. Jeanette Lessener? And you live on Dove Island? That's a great address.
I know. Good morning, Commissioners and Judge Murphy.
Those guys.
Auxiliary people. I'm here to thank you and commend you for your support of the Polk County Recycling Program. It's been less than a year, and the program has shown phenomenal growth. I'm not associated with it. I've taken some material there. It's a long drive. And you have to, look at consider the math. So now we're looking at a drop-off site in Alaska, which would save me the 40-mile round trip to Schwab City, which I've learned about. I think this is a wonderful idea. Alaska is a growing community, and there's a lot of people that are interested in recycling and volunteering. My family and friends signed up to volunteer for the Alaska drop-off site months ago, and we are very excited to see the progress that's being made on it.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Nina McAfee?
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Nina McAfee, and I'm a resident of Yopon Cove in Alaska. Several of our new and existing residents are here today, and we have been trying to get answers from yourself, Judge Murphy, and Commissioner Vincent. And we attempted to get on the commissioner's agenda and followed the rules that are published. We sent an email request and a text request to Ronnie Vincent on August 11th. We sent a request to you, Judge Murphy, on August 16th. And both requests were made in plenty of time to be put on the agenda so that we could get answers from you. But
Ms. McAfee,
Yes.
I think I explained to
Yes.
you that this is the process. You have started the process right now. So you said that your concern was enforcement of county regulations and environmental enforcement officers.
Correct.
Okay.
So we would like to be on the agenda to speak to several concerns in Yopon Cove. One of them being the 9 condemned houses that have not been addressed. One of them being the road and bridge repairs.
Yes, ma'am.
and another one being the 96 acres that is being clear cut with no county permits or and against county regulations by a business, and a business that has declared themselves a developer. So I did a Texas Freedom of Information request. There are no permits for this land. He is not just clear cutting. He is changing the course of creeks and waterways, which is a violation of your floodplain permit. He is changing the elevation and the topography of the land, which is a violation of your county regulations and flood plan. He has told everybody in the county he's putting in a subdivision or mobile homes or an RV park. He
Okay.
needs to submit a plat.
Yes, ma'am. So, Ms. McAfee, may I suggest that we will be happy to have a conversation? You cannot have a debate with the whole court because that's a violation of Open Meetings Act.
That's not a debate.
Well, what you're asking for would be a debate or a discussion. And so we cannot do that with every member here. If you would like to come and sit down with Commissioner Vincent and myself, we'd be happy to do that so that we can address your concerns. But we would need to include the other agencies, TRA, the city of Onalaska, because the area you were discussing has multiple portions in different areas. So if you will leave your information, I still have your information, and I'm sure Commissioner Vincent does, then we will contact you and have a meeting with you and any other concerned people, but it will have to be us.
So you're denying the ability for Yopon Cove residents to ask you specific questions and get answers in open forum?
No, ma'am, that's what I just told you.
We would like it done in open forum.
That is the process that we follow, Ms. McAfee. If you would like for us to have a discussion with your Yopon Cove residents, which is what you're requesting, then we will be happy to have that meeting. But we're not going to have it, because if every single subdivision, every single person in this county wanted to have a discussion with this, we would never get anything done. We'd have to meet every single day. So if you would like for us to set up a meeting with Yopon Cove, I will be happy to attend, and I'm sure Commissioner Vincent would as well.
Okay.
So if you'll coordinate it with us, that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sean Loring. Let me guess.
That's right. I am Sean Loring. Many of you know I'm the president of Polk County Recycling and Beautification, and I'm here to speak to agenda point number 16, the proposed collection site in Onalaska. Just a little bit of a background. The recycling center opened at the beginning of this year, and in the information I have here is through end of July. One of my colleagues, Mr. Dick Burr, augmented some of this, but through close of July, our facility has collected over 62,000 pounds of material. That's 62,000 pounds of material that is not going to the landfill. It extends the life of that county utility and provides a benefit to the residents of the county in a number of different ways. And you've heard from some of our colleagues, not only does it divert the material away from the landfill, doing environmental good, but it also provides a mechanism for volunteerism in the community. The 62,000 plus pounds that we've collected so far has been largely done with little advertising. This has all been word of mouth. The Polk County Recycling and Beautification is embarking upon a marketing plan to better publicize what we do and to attract more volunteers, namely college students and high school students. We hope to attract some of them, give them some benefits for their starting down their career paths. In order for us to continue the good works to collect more materials, divert away from landfills, and provide these ancillary benefits to the community, we are humbly requesting that the collection site discussed in agenda item 16 be approved. At that site, we would be collecting, We'll be collecting plastics, cardboard, and aluminum cans to start, and we hope that the facility will operate once a week again to begin, and then expand out. Does anybody have any questions?
We can't answer.
Excellent.
Thank you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Sean, and thank you all for your volunteering. We appreciate that. Okay, item number 3, informational reports. Do we have any elected officials or department heads that have an additional information report? If you will notice, our spotlight this month was on Polk County Memorial Museum, and so all of that has been completed, and we encourage everyone to go check out the services that the museum provides on our website. Item B on informational reports, USDA has designated Polk County as a primary natural disaster area due to the drought. And all of you have some information that was provided to you, and we are also going to put links on. This is the information that was provided by USDA. And so Governor Abbott has agreed to the designation, so we have provided that information to our ranchers, farmers, through AgriLife, anyone that was impacted by the drought, so that our local ranchers and farmers can get some drought assistance. So anyone that has received that information or is interested, then they need to let us know, and we will be happy to forward that information to them as well. Okay, item number 4, old business. First, let me say, anybody that was here for the public information reports, if you want to stay, you are more than welcome. If you wish to exit, then you're more than welcome to do that. Okay, item number 4, old business, which was tabled from the last meeting. 1, approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which was July 26, 2022. A copy of the minutes was included for your review.
So moved. Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B, discuss and consider award of the 2017 GLO DR 4332, which is a Harvey program, GLO contract number 20-065-018-CO64. Commissioner Robertson, I believe that's yours.
Yes, I'd like to make the motion to approve for the Taylor Lakes, it'd be CCC blacktopping.
Okay.
And for River Road, it would be Rebel Contractors.
Okay.
Excuse me, may I
Yes,
say
ma'am,
something?
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I think either I'm confused or Nick, can you come up here with me? We had looked at this and, we've been talking about it for almost 60 days now.
Right.
We're talking about $4,000 difference between these two bids.
That's
And
true.
it was my suggestion with Nick that we aggregate these two and award to one contractor to
Right.
save ourselves a lot of heartache and
That's
things that
fine.
can go
Yeah.
wrong.
Thank you very much for, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am, I know, we had
gone back and
gone back,
forth.
yes, ma'am. We
Yes.
have.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so who is it going to?
It's going to go to CC Blacktop.
Out of Onalaska.
And, Judge, I'm sorry, I don't know if you were copied on this letter or not, but we will make sure that you did get a copy.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am,
give
I'm
us-
gonna give you a copy right now.
I think for the record, we need the amount.
Yes, ma'am, you do, for monitoring purposes too, just so y'all know, when we get these grants monitored, that's one thing they're looking at, is the minutes. So,
Okay, so the total award shows here as being $399,056.54.
So you're gonna need a
To CC
revised one.
blacktopping,
That's correct.
is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, which exceeds the grant by $87,716.47. The grant funds that are available for constructions were $311,340.07. Okay, and so the award goes to CC Blacktop.
Yes, ma'am, and of course, it
Yes.
is our thought that rebidding anything will get us in a worse position, so that's why we've been trying to work it
Material
out.
prices haven't changed.
Yeah.
If we
Yes, sir.
de-scope, we're gonna get the same pricing back in here.
Okay.
Which is less work being done.
That's your recommendation?
That's my recommendation. Thank you both for being here.
Yes, ma'am, and so what happens from here, guys and ladies, is that we will, with Nick's office and my office, we will put a pre-construction conference together ASAP with the contractor, and get them going on that work as soon as possible, which should be a matter of 3 weeks or 4 weeks,
Do we,
something like that.
need to include who's gonna be responsible for the $80-some-odd thousand in these minutes?
Because that'll be come from us.
Yes, that will come from precinct
Precinct
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
We've
sir.
always
The
done it
difference
before,
will be
the
covered by
difference.
precinct one.
Okay,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right.
Very well. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Liz.
y'all.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Item number 5, new business, the consent agenda. You have addendums on B. Addendum number 1 in the amount of $10,536.92. Addendum number 2 in the amount of $2,465.16. Addendum number 3 in the amount of $103,579.36. And addendum number 4 in the amount of $52,050.77. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody wishes to pull?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. A, review and consideration of personnel action form requests submitted since the last meeting, a review of any authorized emergency hiring. We included all the preliminary listings on the PAFs in your packet, and there are no emergency hires at this time.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Vincent.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. B, consider appointment of the fire marshal. We interviewed John and are presenting John Fugate for the fire marshal position and recommend that he be appointed today. Motion to approve?
Is he here today?
Is he here?
No, sir.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fugate.
Okay.
We were gonna ask, well, we actually both of them.
I was just trying to put a face on
Yeah,
who we were
trying to figure out who
approving.
we
Well, we were
appointed.
gonna ask them both to make sure they introduce themselves to everybody, and come visit with each of you individually. So we also have Nathan Sexton, sitting next to him, and he is being presented to the court for our environmental officer position. So both of those positions will now be filled. Would either one of you like to come say anything to the court, or you wanna?
I just want to say thank you all for the opportunity to serve this community.
Okay. So they will be making the rounds to visit and discuss things with you all.
Got a lot to do, Mr. Sexton.
Just so you know.
Motion to approve on B.
Second.
Motion to approve on B from Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C, consider appointment of environmental enforcement officer. Nathan Sexton, who you just met, is being recommended for the position, and recommending we appoint him today.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Overstreet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry I didn't see you back there. That's okay. Okay, item number 7, consider request for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. You have the FY 2022 budget revisions and amendments as presented by the County Auditor's Office. A copy of all of proposed revision number 2022-19 and amendments number 2022-19A is included for your review. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Purvis. Did you second? Second, Commissioner Vincent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, receive drought status update and consider any necessary action regarding continuing the burn ban in the unincorporated areas of the county if recommended. I think all of us had a nice refreshing shower across the entire county. Originally, the Forest Service was a tad hesitant, but after last night's rain, they feel comfortable moving forward. We discussed it with the Texas Forest Service, and so Ricky said he's comfortable now that our fuel is not as high as it used to be. So how would the court like to proceed?
So moved.
Lift the ban?
Yes, ma'am.
Lift the ban, Commissioner Purvis. Second, Commissioner Overstreet. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Everybody better be prepared for a smoky
That's
afternoon.
what I was just thinking about, if they can get it lit. I didn't know that was so important.
They're gonna move forward with it. Okay,
I
Madam
know there's a
Clerk.
lot more firebugs out there than me. They like it a lot worse.
I can understand if contractors put in yards.
That approval would have been at 10:43 a.m. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, item number 9, consider request for approval of certificate of exemption to exempt from county subdivision regulations the development of abstract 593 William White Survey, which is 117.01 acres located in precinct 2 and consisting of 16 tracts. That's a correction. All over 10 acres with individual access to existing public roads with no other common areas and or streets. We should have caught that because the math didn't add up. 23. Okay, pursuant to section 232.0015 of the Texas Local Government Code, this regulation is, exemptions can be provided by state law from the regulations, and JPR Investments LLC has requested a certificate of exemption from the Commissioner's Court so that the exemption can be filed in Commissioner's Court minutes along with a survey of the subdivision. All the tracks will be 11 plus acres in size and no new roads or public spaces. So a copy is included for your review, and they intend to develop this land as block 1 and 2 of Rolling Pines Section 3 subdivision. Bring the plat to Commissioner's Court for approval in the same manner that they did for Rolling Pines Section 2, which the court approved on December 28th. And if you look at the next item, it is plat approval for that same subdivision. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now item number 10, bless you, which is related. Consider approval of the plat for Rolling Pine subdivision, section 3, located in precinct 2. The subdivision qualified for the exemption because all tracts were over 10 acres with individual access to existing public roads with no other common areas or street. The developers want the subdivision recorded so that tracts are locked in and cannot simply be replatted. Plat will be signed by Commissioner's Court and filed with the county clerk's office, assuming that we have approved number 9, which was just approved.
Judge, that should be block 1 and 2.
Okay, block 1 and 2, gotcha.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and consider approval to update the master street address guide, the MSAG. To date, we have a developer, Pine Rock Ranch subdivision, that was not approved by Commissioner's Court, and he has refused to file the plat of record. A cease and desist letter has been sent to stop further development prior to approval to the court. And he actually exemplifies what is the issue that is created for the county and for 911 services especially. You have a map that shows you what our current 911 looks like in your folder. What we've had to do is we've had to go in and name some of those roads for 911 purposes only. And so you're looking at the current, what we're asking for approval on the MSAG, because part of what happens is that when you have multiple addresses all assigned to the end of the road, then there's no way for emergency responders to be able to access those individuals because you don't know where to find them. And so that's part of why it's very important that if we're gonna have subdivision development, that we know exactly how to get to those people and we know exactly how to provide them with assistance. So that we don't have our EMTs running all around the countryside, going up and down dirt roads, trying to find a location. So we have, 911 went in and basically named some streets so that we could clean up our 911 rural addressing. Furthermore, what we would like to do with the court's permission is we would like to have a discussion and include some of our developers, include our ambulance services, law enforcement, the people that are having to utilize this 911 map to provide assistance to the residents so that we can come up with some better criteria. I think the last time that the criteria for mapping was approved by this court was in the 90s. So it's time for us to review and try to come up with a better plan, especially now that we seem to be growing exponentially. So I need a motion to approve. The 911 addressing office submitted an update to name the authorized roads off Ton Marsh Road in Precinct 4 as Pine Rock, East and West Pine Pebble, and Pine Bark. A copy of the MSAG update is included for your review, along with a copy of what the current map looks like. And so, first I need an approval for the MSAG. Motion to approve from you, Commissioner?
No, this has been ongoing, do it for 5 or 6 years now.
Yes, sir.
He chose to develop this stuff, somehow they got power in there. I'm not for it, I think the man should have been prosecuted, but we can't get anything done.
We can still proceed.
But nothing's happened. I can understand the life safety side of it wholeheartedly.
People already bought property.
Oh, they bought property in there.
So we need to provide them
We gotta
with
provide that for them, but this deal, this guy, I've met with him at his attorney's office, I've met everywhere else. And this is where we're at now, so now we're gonna name his roads.
Well, now
And that's,
we
you
have
know,
to.
but we can't, I'll say this on approving, there'd be no more permits issued in that piece of property.
That's already been shut down.
On that piece of property, period.
Yes, sir.
Until this
That's-
is done correctly or he's prosecuted or something.
Yes, sir, and that has
He
already
was
been
told
done.
numerous times.
Yes, sir, and that has already been done. And we've written the cease and desist letter, and our next step will be to take it to the district attorney's office and proceed with prosecution. Because we have had multiple people come in here saying, I need my permit, and we say, we can't provide you with a permit.
I'll make that motion for the life safety side of it, that's the only part.
Do you wanna make it with a stipulation that
There's no.
it's going to the DA's office
Yes,
and we will
that's-
prosecute?
That's fine.
I'll
With me.
second.
These other guys are working real hard to do theirs correctly, and he's just a renegade.
Well, and that's part of it, is that it has been over the years that this has occurred, and so permits has shut down. They are not providing any more permits out there. So now, when these landowners come to us and say, but he said, we're telling them, we suggest you go to civil court. Because there's nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
But this is a mess.
No, I know it. I mean, I deal with Linda on this right here, so I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay, do I have a second?
I do.
Commissioner Robertson? Anything else you want to add?
No. I'll leave it at that. I just hope it gets, I hope the wheels of progress runs over him one of these days.
It looks like we're moving that direction, since you included your stipulation. Okay, so with the court's blessing, we would like to move forward with putting a group together to discuss some of these issues and to try to rectify not just current, I think our developers are starting to understand why we were going that direction, but for future development and for prior development, so that we don't have this type of situation happen again. Court okay with that? Very well. Item number 12, consider approval of agreement with Thompson Consulting Services LLC for disaster debris monitoring and consulting. On June 28th, the court approved the proposals from Thompson Consulting Services and True North. Legal counsel has reviewed the agreement with Thompson Consulting Services, and Emergency Management has requested that we move forward with it. A copy of the proposed agreement was included in your packet for your review.
So moved. Second.
Motion Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, review and approve county investment policy as presented by the county treasurer. This is an annually required item. A copy of the proposed investment policy was included for your review. Terry, do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, the only thing that changed was we added, our American Funds Act money. I opened an account with Tech School for that, because we need to make some over. That's the only change.
And those are going out as we speak, so, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 14, discuss and consider approval of sheriff's and constables fees effective January 1st, 2023, and direct notification to state comptroller pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 118.131. So included for your review is a copy of the correspondence from the state comptroller regarding this process, as well as a copy of the current fee schedule. The information was provided to the sheriffs, the constable, and JP on July 19th, requesting comments regarding any needed changes or updates for the court's consideration no longer than August the 10th. We received multiple proposals, so you should have one in front of you that says final and revised. We asked that the JPs, the sheriff's office, and the constables all get together and come to a consensus so that it would not be in big debate. We are not the ones that have to deal with it. And so we put a final revised recommendation for you. And this has the approval of the constables and the JPs and the sheriff.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, consider any and all necessary action regarding the transfer of a portion of school land lease from Cooper Ranches LLC to Harley Portwood Ranch. The Brazos River runs through the Polk County school lands, and because the path of the river has changed over the years, it's created a situation where a section that is being leased by Cooper Ranches is on both sides of the river, making it a significant portion of it, 356 acres, virtually inaccessible to them. Commissioner Purvis has been in communication with Wes Cooper, the Portwoods, and Lonnie Shepard, our land surveyor. And Mr. Cooper and Mr. Portwood would like the court to authorize a transfer of that portion of school land from Cooper Ranches to Harley Portwood Ranch. Commissioner Purvis?
Yes, ma'am, it just makes sense, because they can use it on their side, and there's no way. It's probably over an hour and a half drive by the highway around to get to it, and the Portwoods can utilize it, and Mr. Cooper can, and so they're willing to work together. And Mr. Cooper, if we'll let Mr. Cooper, release his part, then they would lease it from us at the same rate as always.
Sounds good. Comes a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Robertson, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, discuss and consider any and all necessary action to establish a satellite recycling collection site at the Alaska Loop Citizens Collection Station, utilizing surplus revenues in the Waste Management Fund. Our collection station and landfill has resulted in a surplus of revenues in the form of landfill host fees. At this time, which they've already told you, they have over 1,000 volunteer hours clocked in materials, so there's a lot of public interest in having a recycling center in the Alaska area. And this would increase the households that would have access to this service. And actually, in the original discussion that occurred with the citizens that were interested, their first targeted area was actually on Alaska. And it was due to affordability and location, that because you had two major areas that were concerned. One was the 146 area that was interested, and the other one was on Alaska. So basically, we're taking them in the order that there was the majority of interest, and so the majority of interest went out down 146, and so now the second one would be on Alaska. So at this time, they would need, now it has been estimated that they probably need 2 containers. One, in case one of them gets full, then they'll be able to have the other one available. Covered drive-through, restroom, and signage. We will be having more discussion with the public services to have functional permanent restrooms at all of our sites, because at this time we do not have them. We have been, I do have to say, the Republic has been moving forward with improving the landfill areas and improving our collection sites. We will need to get restrooms in all of them. So with the court's authorization, we would like to move forward with purchasing the materials and authorizing the sewer line construction in that area. The total surplus revenue in the waste management fund collected in 2022 is $47,480.57. And the expected cost of this proposed project does not exceed $20,000 at this time. So, do you have anything you wish to add to that, Commissioner?
I'd just like to appreciate Ms. Carey and Jay and all of the volunteers for working to kind of help put this second satellite station put together. We're gonna save a lot of money by working together.
Yes, sir. And the logic was that waste management monies would be utilized in waste management areas.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Commissioner Overstreet?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Overstreet, Commissioner Purvis. Thank you all for coming, we appreciate it. Thank you for your input. What's our time, Adam?